Hey, everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And I'm the other dude, Don.
Oh, and we're getting an echo
Oh,
because I forgot to turn my
yeah.
speakers off.
Oh,
Anyway, I wonder what we're here to talk about today.
no clue. No clue
no,
whatsoever.
no clue whatsoever. I think we're going to talk
Nothing
a,
spectacularly
a,
fantastic
a
happened
little
this week.
Superman. No,
Yeah.
nothing at all. Nothing. Yeah, Superman. This is all Superman all the time this week, or this show. Um, we do have a couple news articles, but they are just related to the movie. Uh, and yeah, we're gonna review, discuss, debate James Gunn's Superman. So, hello, Kasan. So we're
Hello,
ready to go.
hello.
Are you
Absolutely.
ready to go? And I mean you, the audience. Um, if not, I don't know what to tell you. So,
Yeah. It's not that interactive.
no, not tonight. Um, so what's before we get into it? What is new with you there, Don? Besides seeing Superman?
Other than seeing Superman, I've been like outside like all weekend and it's been hot. Um, just because, I fancy this. I'm not really a car mechanic, you know.
Uh-huh.
But recently, had an oil change, and they said, "Well, your back right brake caliper is seized, and gonna need a new rotor and all that." I'm like, "Okay, how much is that?" And they're like, "Oh, $900." I'm like, "Nah, okay, no, we're not gonna do that." So you YouTube it, and the parts are like $400. And plus, my son, who is 16, is kind of into that sort of thing. So we did it.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing, and I'm not going to go in it, but we did it. But yeah, doing that even in my garage, still in the summertime, was a bit oppressive. And then yeah, my wife is sick, so had to take my youngest daughter to a birthday party, and that was outside, and it was just
Mm.
so yeah. Um, how much do you trust the work, Don? Well, I trusted it enough that I have been on the highway, like total of 20 miles with the
You,
car. We're good to
yeah,
go.
you said calipers, right?
Yeah, well, we had to do calipers, rotors, and then uh, brake
Oh,
pads.
okay. I've replaced calipers before, and I don't even drive, so
Yeah, no,
that's not difficult. But I don't know if
no,
I would do the whole thing. Yeah,
yeah. Well, we did. Saved a bunch of money, but
yeah.
yeah, no, I trust the work there. But yeah, pretty much the only time I spent in like air conditioning this weekend, it seemed, as while I was sleeping or watching Superman. So that was
Well,
a added bonus.
thank goodness for Superman, because
Thank goodness, indeed.
that
What about you,
him.
Dave? Oh, yeah.
Um, I let's see. I didn't do much since Wednesday either. Work's been a little, like I said, work has still been a little crazy, but that's fine. The Thursday, I was supposed to go to my girlfriend's for dinner. That's like a standing date we have. We get every Thursday, and like all of a sudden, a little before 4 o'clock, she messages me and goes, "My brother's at my house. Don't leave until I until I let you know what's
Uh-huh.
going on." I'm like,
Uh-oh.
okay. And then a little while later, like 5 o'clock, because normally I get there for 6, so I normally leave around 5:30, and I start getting ready at 5, and I like text her, and I'm like, should I get ready or what? And she's like, I'll call you in a couple of minutes. I'm like, like long story short, her brother like lives in North Carolina and just decided to drop by the house, but her mother's blind, so she can't answer the door. He was up visiting some other people and then decided to just stop by.
Yeah.
And you know, but she's got a ring camera and she's got cameras all over the house because again, her mom's blind. She has it so she can keep an eye on her
Yeah.
during the day when she's at work. And her doorbell goes off and she looks in and sees that it's her brother, and then she tries to call her mom to say, "Don't answer the door. It's not Frankie. I can't think of her brother. Um, maybe
Uh-oh.
it is Frankie." She's like, Just like don't answer the door
Let's
to
go
him.
with that.
Yeah, like don't answer the door to him. I'll be there in a a little bit because she doesn't. The school she works at isn't far from her house.
Yeah.
But her mom's not answering the phone because then she looks in the camera and can see she's at the door trying to like go to it. So the camera, she can talk through them. So she's yelling through the camera, "Don't answer the door." She showed me the video because it saves the video.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you can hear in the video the TV, and the TV was really loud, so her mom couldn't hear her. Long story short, I know, too late. She got home and everything was fine, but like he decided to stay for dinner. He brought his daughter with him too, and like she had her dog is overprotective. In fact, we're going to talk about her dog tonight because her dog is very much like a dog we both saw in a movie yesterday.
Okay.
Is nuts as well. So she had to she basically traps him upstairs, but then he gets whiny and barks and stuff. Yeah. So she stayed up there with him, and we were supposed to go to the gallery where her one son works because he curated a show for the first time by himself, and he wanted us to come see it and everything. And so she's like, "Well, we'll just get together some this weekend. I'll make it up to you." And I'm like, "All right, well, yeah, that was crazy." And then, but yeah, other than that, just typical stuff. Other than seeing Superman on yesterday, and.
But your whole dissertation there is just, please learn this, everybody. This is why you don't just drop in.
Yes.
Especially if you live like 4 or 5, whatever states south.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do that because look at all the chaos that can ensue.
And the other thing was that, so originally it was going to be Karen and I, it was going to be a date night, go see Superman, right? Like, she was excited because it's the start of a new quote unquote universe. She hadn't see anything beforehand. We're also talking about that. And she could just go see a movie. And then all of a sudden her one son was like, "Oh, can me and my girlfriend come along?" So I was like, okay. She's like, "Can you just," because I usually buy the tickets through Fandango. She's like, "Can you just buy the tickets and put them in a different row than us? Like have them in front of us, behind us." So I was like, okay, fine. That's what I did. And then all of a sudden, her other 2 sons wanted to go.
Oh, man.
So what turned into a date night was a family outing.
Isn't that great?
Yes. But, I mean, luckily, they're all nerds and love this stuff, too. So it made it a little fun. And, yeah. And then just getting ready for tonight. That's what I've been up to. It was... and it's hot. It's been hot here too. Oh man, it's crazy. But yeah, that's it. So that's you. That's me. I guess that. Hold on. Shoot, I clicked on the wrong button. I guess Darth Don makes 3.
Darth Don here. You must subscribe to Superhero Speak. Haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated gun dog named Brie Lawson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
Oh. I could just watch you do Darth Don all night. This is a cool bucket because it came on a lid. That's why the popcorn's still fresh because it locks on.
It is cool.
So,
one at the theater I went to was a big glass like popcorn, like like they make popcorn, and outside of it, Superman's hitting it with his.
Yes, they had that
vision.
one as well. But
okay.
Here's the thing: this set was $35. It came with 2 cups, one Superman, one Lex Luthor, and the popcorn, and it was $35, which is about what you'd spend for large popcorn and 2 sodas, maybe a little less in the movie theater. That tin that looked like a popcorn machine, I think they said it was $90, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't need the, I don't need that.
You know what, though? You are perfectly encapsulating a great lesson that I think, people in charge of making movies, particularly comic book movies, should learn, which is, obviously the Superman movies, everyone's liking it.
Yeah.
And then there you go. Dave comes home with the merchandise. How much? You said you paid $35 for what? 4 cents worth of, inflation. Sorry. 40 cents worth of plastic. Like, come on now. That's how you make the money.
Yeah. No, I agree. But when they have the other one and it's, it was way more than 35 and it's just the popcorn. I'm like, I can't imagine they sold a lot of those,
No, I can't imagine either. I didn't see anyone carrying them, carrying them out of the
me either. I saw people with the metal one, but I didn't see anyone with that one. So, it's not Comic-Con, it's a movie theater. You're going to see a movie, so you can't get away with the prices. I will say I bought this shirt today. I realized I didn't have a Superman shirt currently. But we went to Kohl's. She was returning some stuff. I don't know anyone knows this, but if you are returning stuff for Amazon, you can drop it off at Kohl's. And when you do that, do the return through Kohl's, they will give you a coupon. And they actually gave us a coupon, $10 off, $25 or more. And the 2 shirts were $20-something together. So I got this one and I got a new Spider-Man shirt. So
then how much Kohl's cash did you get so that you go back to spend that?
Well, I don't have a Kohl's account, so I didn't get any Kohl's cash. I just got the t-shirts.
You didn't get any Kohl's cash. What the hell, man? That's free
I don't go there enough to justify having one of those accounts because they ask you, you want to sign up? I'm like, nah, not today. That's what I always say.
I'm with
when
you.
They ask you. So, but yeah, it was that's that was there you go. That was my movie going experience. So,
full theater. Let's talk about that for a minute. Actually,
yeah.
Okay.
I will say this: when I bought the tickets initially, there were quite a few seats open, but not a lot, but enough where I was like, ooh, this isn't a good sign. I don't think there was an empty seat in there by the time the movie started.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the end, which mine was exact similar thing. Like first you get there, but I know I ordered through Fandango and I could already see, in fact, we had a last minute add-on, whole nother frustrating scenario. But anyway, and yeah, it was like that one person could not sit with the rest of us.
You're welcome, Dizzy.
Dizzy Go Boom, thanks for reminding me to spend my Sears bucks. I have bad news for you, Dizzy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Dizzy.
There's only one left.
Anyway. But you were saying...
but yeah, my similar experience, though, by the end, it was absolutely mostly full. And did the crowd you were with that you watch a movie with, did they react during the movie or particularly after the movie with any sort of applause or?
There was applause and there was a little bit of applause in the theater.
Okay.
Karen has the mindset, and it's funny, and her kids kind of have the same one, they can't hear you applauding. So why applaud?
Right.
But I mean, there was laughter and there's hoops and hollers and everything from everyone during the movie. And quick spoiler. I won't say what they are yet. We'll talk about them when we get into spoilers. There are 2 after credit scenes. I will say this: everyone stayed for that first one, and then when the credits started rolling, they actually put the lights back up, which I thought was funny. And then everyone started clearing out because I think everyone assumed that was it. And there is a final after credit scene. So I was like, oh, okay. And there was only maybe a dozen or so people who stayed for the second after credit scene. So, we'll get into that. So, But yeah, so let's talk real quick. Yeah, I'll save the post credit scene stuff for when we get into spoilers. But I wanted there's two David Cornsweat articles that came out recently, and I wanted to talk about them. The first one is, did you know that he had originally auditioned to be Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Yeah, no clue.
Yeah. Obviously he didn't get the part. It went to Palmer, what's his name? And not important, but it obviously went to someone else. But it shows you that he then had a relationship with Gunn at that point, which is probably how he got into the auditioning for Superman. Okay, Disney says they did that with our lights during Thunderbolts. Yeah. And then I will say this after watching the movie, I'm glad he didn't get the role of Adam Warlock. Like, because I thought he did a great job. What do you think? Would do you think he would have been better as Adam Warlock, or do you like him as Superman?
Well, if he was Adam Warlock, I wouldn't have an opinion because I've never even seen that movie. Yeah. I mean, I've seen what I need to know, but I've got...
Yeah, that was before you were a full-fledged member of the podcast, so you
right,
weren't forced to go see it.
Exactly. See? Got it on the right time.
So, all right, well, then you have no opinion. And then it also came out that they did I can't remember what magazine it was. Maybe it was hold on, let me look it up real quick. They did this magazine article with Nicholas Hoult and David Cornsweat where one of them's attached to a lie detector and they ask questions, right? And he was asked if you had the opportunity to play a Star Wars character like a Jedi or do Superman 2, what would you take? And his honest answer, he would rather be a Jedi than do Superman 2. But he said he doesn't. There's no negotiations with Lucasfilm, and he's already under contract to play Superman in the Superman 2. But he would love to play a Jedi in a Star Wars project. So you're the Star Wars guy. So come on, what do you think about that? You think he'd be a good Jedi?
Would he be a good Jedi? It depends. I don't think he would be a good Clone Wars or High Republic Jedi. I would really see him more as either Baylan Skoll type, not Sith, dark Jedi, or just whatever, grayish Jedi. Again, post Order 66. I mean, there's a whole spectrum there, or something Old Republic. Maybe even Revan. My top choice for Revan's going to be Keanu Reeves.
You don't think he's too old?
Who, Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
No. I don't really. Yeah, no. Actors have a lot more shelf life, I think, nowadays, particularly with touch-ups and whatnot and CGI. But also to that point, a lot of times Revan is wearing a mask, so.
True.
Which could also limit the people willing to play him. So it might even be a Pedro Pascal deal. He seems to be okay with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see those scenarios. Like again, not a High Republic Jedi or Clone Wars Jedi, but something a bit more edgier.
All right. Superman, the Jedi Counselor, given Star Wars The Old Republic rules. Yeah, I could see that.
Well, what he's referring to, the SWTOR rules, is the tabletop game.
Yes.
I
could see that. All right. So those were the two articles. I like the guy. So
who doesn't want to be a Jedi? So I get it.
Exactly. All right, so let's get into the movie then. We'll do what we always do. We'll go do the numbers. So first off, we will do Rotten Tomatoes. We did mention this on Wednesday, and the scores are pretty much the same as they were on Wednesday. 82% on the tomato meter and 93% on the audience score, with over 10,000 plus verified ratings from the audience. So, yeah, people like this movie. And you can't take that away. So, as of this live stream, their box office is 122 million domestic, 95 million international, so 272 million worldwide at this point. And hold on, I had it here. The budget was 225 million. So I mean, I know Kassan is sitting there and ready to point out, that doesn't mean they're making money, but strongest opening for a movie in a long time, especially for a DC movie. And that's again projected. We'll see. We'll know better. We'll talk the numbers again on Wednesday, what it actually makes this weekend. But it was originally projected to make 140 million, and now it's obviously done much better than that. So, and finally, we did do a poll, like we did last time, to ask you who your favorite character was. We did it on both X and YouTube right here in our community. Over on X, the choices are, of course, we say, what did you think of James Gunn's Superman? The choices are always the same. Something like best Superman ever. It was good, not the best. It was okay, meh, and I didn't care for it. The winner on X is it was good, not the best at 39%. Second place was 31.6 is best Superman ever. It was okay, meh, 18.4, and I didn't care, got 10.5%. And then, of course, I don't have it open. I don't have the poll open here. Hold on. It was basically the same results over on YouTube. I don't know why I can't find it at the moment. Give me a second. Talks amongst yourselves.
Talks amongst. Don't get clamped.
How do I view this?
Well, let me go ahead and.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
The 44% is best is the number one on YouTube. 44% best Superman ever. 33% is it was good, not the best. No one said it was meh, and 22% over on YouTube said I didn't care for it. So we'll get into the I didn't care for it, I think, a little bit. Kassan says Superman has to gross around 700 million to break even, and I think it will come close to $1 billion. Okay, good. A positive response about box office from Kassan. We don't know.
I don't understand though.
I don't know why 700 million.
Right. That's like they can make their next movie, with this one and another movie with 7. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm not an expert, but that seems like a lot.
Yeah. So all that being said, we know what the audience thought. We know what the numbers are saying. So let's start as we always do. Initial reactions as we got out of the theater and what we're thinking. Now, no spoilers. Don, what did you think of Superman?
His, woke, is what I would say if I was some a-hole. No, it was wonderful. It was absolutely fantastic. I have certain movies that are almost like a comfort blanket if I'm upset or maybe having a tough time mentally. So we're talking Dark Knight. No one's going to agree with this one, but Iron Man 2 is is a comfort movie for me. And this is definitely going to be one of them. I'm certainly looking forward to having this available on streaming. That way I can watch it some more. Because honestly, going in this weekend in general. Like my just headspace, I'm just not in a good headspace, stressors, whatnot. But watching this movie though, it was an awesome, like, it still lifted you up. It was, you're rooting, for Superman and just feeling great and positive. And I was like, wow, that's I mean, I cried during parts, dude.
Yeah.
So let me not overstate, my, thumbs up here with this movie. It's phenomenal. I am surprised. I'm not a Superman fan per se. I mean, I'm a Superman fan, but just not. He's certainly not my favorite. I guess I don't know. I don't know how to explain that correctly. Um, you know, but yeah, it was awesome. That's my thoughts. Right. Got the popcorn, the cup. I mean, that says it all, man.
It was okay.
Yeah.
That's what my girlfriend told me to do.
Yeah.
I am going to say, I'm going to say what I said on social media. You saw the comment. Fuck Man of Steel, Superman is back. I mean, that's why the title of this episode is Superman is back, because this is the Superman that I wanted to see on screen. He is the farm boy from Kansas who is the most powerful of the superheroes. I know it's not. I know it's good. They're still trying to go strong this weekend, but hopefully this puts an end to the Snyder bots who want to bring back the DCEU. It's never going to happen. It's done. Is this an absolute perfect movie? No, there are a couple little things that I had issue with. Nothing like, oh my god, this is terrible. Just like little things, and we'll get into that. But yeah, like, and I like, again, David Cornsweet is great in the role, and I'm not just saying that because he's from Philly as well. And Nicholas Hoult was born to play Lex Luthor, like maybe the best movie depiction of Lex Luthor that we've ever gotten. Like Gene Hackman was great, but this is a whole nother level. This is the billionaire, unstable genius. So yeah, I loved every minute, and I'm with you. Like, it got me emotionally. I definitely teared up on a couple scenes, and I walked out of there feeling hopeful, feeling like, yeah, you know what? Humanity really isn't that bad. And maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know about humanity. But listen, one of the things that I guess has always driven me to be a fan of superheroes is the fact that we live in a fucked up world where money and corruption rule. Okay, it's just what it is. And it's like the thought of an all-powerful being that would just come help us, get us out of this, take the power back. The idea of the powerful using that powerful for the weakest of us. It's just great. And this movie encapsulated that. And it was just awesome. I mean, I don't know to tell you, like, yeah, and just coming from a Man of Steel fan, but this is this is a great comic book movie. And I worried that, okay, are we going to still get high marks if we go straight into this DC universe? Because that crawl at the beginning, right? 30,000 years or whatever it was. I think it was 3,000 years ago they started. Whatever, the Age of Gods and Monsters,
Right,
and they kept going down. 3 years ago, declared himself Superman. So I was like, how would people react to that? And I think the evidence says that, hey, everyone's on board. I mean, everyone, but most people, they're not our Matt Walsh or that guy that talks really fast and always says his wife's a doctor. I can't remember his name, but outside of those dudes, like everyone's digging it. So yeah, I'm glad for that. I'm glad that we can dive in to this DC universe where Guy Gardner and the Justice Gang are in the Hall of Justice. It's just boom, here we go. We're hitting the ground running in the DC universe, and everyone is able to hang on and be on board. So that's cool and exciting.
I will say this: there's a podcaster I watch it's a political podcast, and he's a very middle of the road kind of guy. In some cases, does lean right, in some cases leans left, but like he was one of those when all that stuff came out because James Gunn made a comment about Superman being an immigrant. There was a the backlash online. Oh, Superman's woke because of one comment from the director before anyone saw the movie, and he was one of those on his show made a comment like, "Oh, Superman's woke," blah blah, and a bunch of people jumped on that bandwagon. But then he went and saw the movie and actually did an honest review, and he's like, "No, this movie's not woke, and the DCU, this movie is going to save DC and Warner Brothers. Like this isn't a strong start." So
yeah,
that's my full belief. The people that are still majorly bashing this movie have yet to see it. They haven't seen it. They're just bashing it online because it's the cool thing to do. So
yeah, exactly. That's exactly my belief. You're either you're just doing it for fucking negative engagement or whatever, or B, you're a tremendous asshole, probably and or both. So, but you know what? I think people can see through it. I don't know. That's why we have shows like this.
Yeah.
So they know the difference.
All right. Well, that is. I mean, I think we've gone far enough. Before we get into spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, this is where you can stop watching, go watch the movie, and come back. If you don't care about spoilers or if you've already seen it, here we go. So, let's start off with. I'm trying to think how we can do this in a constructive way because we always kind of just go back and forth. What were some of your favorite parts of this movie?
Well, my absolute favorite part, and the one that got me emotionally, I guess, is when he's talking with his father out on the porch, and his father tells him, what you do makes you. I'm proud of you. Ma and Pa Kent were absolutely awesome. That was just that was great. Hey, go ahead, interject. It looks
no. I mean, that got me too because that scene's the heart of the movie. That's the whole point of this movie is that, again, we're in spoilers, so he kind of has this message that Jor-El left in the ship for him when he was a baby that says like, "Oh, you're the last son of Krypton. We're a great people. You're like the hope of blah blah." And the rest of the message is destroyed or got damaged in transport, and he believes that his father sent him there to be a savior for the earth, to help humanity, and then something happens in the movie where the rest of the message gets revealed. It gets revealed.
Yeah, we got to talk about that big time.
It gets revealed to the whole world that he was actually sent here, because these people are weak and he can be a conqueror and all this stuff. And like he kind of has a crisis of identity at that point because he like based what he was doing on that, and he ends up turning himself in, gets captured, gets kryptonite poisoning, blah blah, and Lois brings him back to Mom and Pa Kent so he can rest for a little bit and heal up, and that's when we get this scene, this emotional scene in the movie, and that's the whole thing. That's when he realizes like, yeah, they gave birth to me, but that's it. Then they sent me in a rocket and sent me off, and the planet was destroyed. These are the people that raised me. This is my heart. This is who I am. I'm a farm boy from Kansas, and I was taught to help humanity by these two. Like, this is who I truly am. And like he doesn't say it, like it's, but you see it because Pa Kent says he's proud of him, and it's like the best scene ever. Somebody who will remain nameless, had none of the people I went and saw the movie with this or just afterwards, was like, their criticism of the movie was that they made Ma and Pa Kent bumpkins. I'm like, what? No, they were farm people from Kansas. Like,
Right. So what that person reveals is that's what he thinks of like middle America, salt of the earth people.
It was very much a suburban white white person like attitude towards people who, middle America.
They'd probably think that of me if they knew me in real life, to be honest with you. Like one thing I was anyway, fuck them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I have farmers in my family, and like it was just like, that's one of the most ignorant statements I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah. But like, that is, I agree with you. That's probably one of the best superhero movie, scenes ever, because it sums up what Superman is, without like being in your face. You get the subtext, I mean, like when she brings him in and to carry him and lay him down on the bed, and they're like, Mom and Pa Kent are sitting next to him, and they're like fawning over him, and like that's when I teared up, because like as a parent, if that was your kid,
exactly.
That's exactly what you would be doing, and it doesn't matter if they're adopted or not.
We're going to talk about that.
We'll talk about that. Has the comics ever explored Jor-El as Night's overlords, and has been the first example of Kryptonite being conquerors? We'll get into that. We will get into that probably when we get to the things that we don't like. Okay, okay. What about, is any other like major?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, I'm a power porn guy. So that point at which he finally gets back, and he's like spinning around, lasering all those Lex Luthor armored flying suit guys.
Yeah.
That was cool, and it stopped, and then like came up and showed the S on his chest. Like, sweet, that's fucking cool. I like that. So that was a cool part visually. Other than that, I guess I would say when he saved the squirrel. But
yeah,
well, but it's all the collective, when he turned around after that building got blasted with fire, and are you guys okay? Like, Superman made sure everybody was okay. And like I said, I took my two little girls have been wanting to see this movie, and I took them, and I was just so happy that that's what they got to see. That's a superhero that they saw that cared about the little guy, even though he was the strongest thing. He cared about even the little squirrel. So that kind of a collective though. Like, I know the creature ended up dying, but like when he was trying to save that big creature that was tearing up the city, but just the type of dude that Superman was. Like, I really dug. You felt like. That part was like, come on, man, when he's talking to Lex Luthor. It's like, he's, like, I feel like I can, I get this dude. Like, he's reacting very similar to probably I would, if I was all powerful. Like, it's like, oh, why did you do this at Bavaria? Because fucking people were going to die, and I'm all powerful. Next question. Like, but I'm getting ahead of myself. But, that saving the squirrel scene just encapsulated the great person that he is in this movie. So that was fucking
cool. My response to that is, and I honestly don't think James Gunn did it on purpose, but things like that in this movie is a big middle finger to Man of Steel. Because again, the biggest complaint is he fights Zod in the middle of Metropolis, knocking buildings over. Thousands or millions of people died in that fight. and then he breaks his neck at the end, and he seems more upset about Zod dying than all the collateral damage he caused fighting him in Metropolis. And this movie takes the time to show he cares to make sure no one gets hurt, not even the people he's fighting. He's fighting the kaiju, and he's trying to figure out, how do we like capture this thing and incapacitate it. And Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern end up euthanizing it, and in a fairly what Superman surmises is a fairly painful way. And he's like, oh, come on, man, you could have at least done it in a less painful way, like. And it's like, he is the big blue Boy Scout in this movie. He is everything you want Superman to be. He says, oh shucks, he doesn't curse, he doesn't really get angry. He gets determined, but you don't see him like getting PO'd at anyone. Like, it's how I felt about Chris Evans' Captain America. Like, they did such a great job of like making him this nice guy who's just determined to, stand up for America, do the right thing, whatever. It's just the same thing here, and it's just on a big, broader scale because it's Superman, and he's got all the powers. And I don't know, maybe there are Snyder fans who saw this and are upset about that because, again, was it intentional? There are things in this movie that make it feel like it was. There was a thing I saw when we saw the first when they released the first minute of the movie or whatever, and of course we all know the movie starts with Superman crashing to Earth because he loses his first fight. He's all bloody and beaten up, and then he gets Crypto drags him to the Fortress of Solitude, and they the Superman robots use the sun to heal him, blah blah blah. And like the metaphor that was used was like the image of Superman was beaten and bloodied by the DCEU because they made him a dark, brooding character. So this was the broken and bloody Superman crashing into a new universe and then being lifted up, And I feel like after watching this movie, like, okay, here's the Superman we all wanted, but he had to get beaten up first before we got there, because that's the thing too. That I will say too about one of my favorite things. I like that part of the story is it's the first time he was beaten. He's Superman for 3 years. He is the most powerful being, and then all of a sudden fights somebody that's as strong as him. We'll get to that in a second. And fights somebody as strong as me, and finally gets beaten up, right? Like, and he's got to deal with that, on a level like he's never really lost before. So like, they don't go into it too much because I don't think they wanted to get too heady with the movie. But he's got to deal with the fact that like he is powerful, and like the people that were complaining online, like, oh, he's not all powerful. Like, no, Superman isn't all powerful. He has been beaten up in the comics before. He was killed by Doomsday, but he didn't use kryptonite. He was just stronger than Superman. Like, this idea that like, oh, nothing can stop him is stupid. Like, it has happened in the comics multiple times. So like the fact that they did that in this movie was also made me happy. Like, I don't want an all-powerful, like, he can walk in and stop any situation, because then what's the point? He can just do everything, So
that was good. I mean, they're definitely not doing the ultra all-powerful Superman, which is nice. I mean, I still want him to be really tough, but we'll talk about, I guess, the situation in this movie. And Kassan says, I liked how this movie explored the role of metahumans in political matters, whether they should do so or not, or are they considered enemies of the state for their interference. I mean, that's the age-old thing. also says, I didn't like how the movie removed the consequences of metahuman battle in a large city. You're talking about beings that level buildings when they sneeze. Somehow, not one person was injured. I don't know if we have evidence that no one was injured, but I don't know that. I mean, that's the power of Superman that they are displaying, is that he was able to, save everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. They well into the, they got everyone out of the city. So, I mean, I felt they focused on that a little bit. So we all knew there wasn't a whole lot of people in the
Right.
city. So I don't know. I do not agree with you on that one, Hassan.
Okay. Let's get into this one. Lex Luthor is hyper intelligent. Why didn't he use this to defeat Superman during his public battles? So, I don't know if you were paying attention, Kassan, but he did try to use his intelligence to defeat Superman. The problem is he's an erratic genius. Like he's sloppy and he's not patient. He's vain. He doesn't have patience. He wants to do things and get it done now. And like he studied Superman and came up with the counter moves. This is also, I think, why Superman loses in the beginning, because he's a farm boy and he knows how to like brawl, but he doesn't really know like fighting. And Lex took the time to study how Superman fought and came up with counter moves, and he's telling Ultraman how to fight Superman, telling him what moves to use to beat him. So that is him using his intelligence to beat him. He just didn't do it in a good way. Like intelligence isn't wisdom, right? Just because you know how to build a nuclear bomb doesn't mean you should build a nuclear bomb, right? Like that's
Right.
the point. Like Lex is unchecked intelligence in this movie that's driven by jealousy and fear, right? Like, and he just wants to get rid of Superman. And that's the whole point. And that is very comic accurate Lex Luthor. Like there's a whole bunch of stories in the comics where like that's his whole motivation is Superman's this all powerful alien, we got to get rid of him. Okay, so then what Kassan says, what I mean is, why didn't he use civilians to cripple Superman? He doesn't want to do that publicly. Like he put humans in harm's way, right? Like he opened up a rip.
Pocket universe. Well, but just to interrogate Superman, he killed a dude. So like he did use civilian. I mean, not to cripple Superman, but to try and interrogate him.
He couldn't do too much publicly because he was trying to keep a profile of a savior to the earth. So if he all of a sudden did something that put a bunch of people in harm's way and it quickly got found out, he'd be done, which is exactly how he gets brought down in the movie. Like it's his true plans get revealed, they get published on the Daily Planet, all the news starts covering him, and it's like, oh, he's actually the true villain, which is actually something I loved about this movie too. There was all these rumors that it was actually going to be Brainiac and all these other villains. Like, no, it was just Lex the whole time. Like that's what it should have been, right? Like that is his arch nemesis from the comics, or at least one of them. That's who this should have been, So yeah, like I love Lex. What did you think of Lex?
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. Definitely my favorite, Lex Luthor. I agree with you. He's just kind of unhinged, driven, by whatever. I mean, he does a better job explaining the movie. So, but no, I totally liked. I didn't think I would. I'm not a huge fan of that actor, but no, I'm with you. I think he is definitely tops Lex Luthor. So, and it's just the beginning.
And I mean, it's funny too, because like, a lot of people asked, right? Because is he Beast or Cyclops?
Beast.
He's Beast, yeah. So a lot of people were like, why did they go Kelsey Grammer Beast? You can see now, like, he's no longer Beast. He is, he is Lex through and through.
Thankfully, because Kelsey Grammer as I've explained in previous shows, is my favorite casting.
Yeah. Kassan says this version of Lex is better than Snyderverse. Well, the Snyderverse Lex was just, I don't know. Like, they didn't explain even like how he got so powerful, but that's a whole nother story.
What's funny is they had a preview of, I can't remember the name of the movie, unfortunately, but they had a preview of a movie before this that starred that actor. I can't remember his name, but he was acting just like he did, as Lex Luthor. I was like, oh, almost forgot about that.
I can't think of his name either.
It was some movie about some heist or something. I don't know.
The magic movie.
There you go. Right, the magic movie.
Yeah, because it's Now You See Me, Now You Don't, or something like that. That's the new one, but that's based on a series of movies, right? Like where these magicians are actually thieves and they use magic to trick people. And that's another thing. Oh God, why can't I think of his name? That
Jesse
Eisenberg. That's it, Jesse Eisenberg. So that shows you, I hate to say it, that shows you Nicholas Holt's range as an actor, right? Yeah. Like he played a beast that you sympathized with and was a good guy and you liked him. And then he plays this maniacal evil genius trying to take over part of the world and defeat Superman in the process. And like where Jesse Eisenberg is Jesse Eisenberg in almost every movie.
Yeah, right.
So yeah. Let's see. You know what?
And they fucking gave him long hair too. Let's not forget that part.
That was a weird choice. I guess he didn't want to shave his head for the thing.
And you don't want to be Lex Luthor.
All right. I actually did put some notes down for things to talk about. Which we did talk about Lex. We talked about Clark's parents. Oh, Lois and Clark. What did you think of Lois and Clark's relationship?
Yeah, I don't know if I have too many thoughts on it. I mean, I didn't hate it.
Rachel Brosnahan. That's her that plays Lois. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I their relationship was a little strange. It's like, oh, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend, but it got there. I would say. There was some character growth for Lois Lane in this, and by the end of it, I understood, and it was like, yeah, no, this is a good character. I like this Lois.
So I think what I will say to that is I do feel like that's very much a modern relationship thing for especially people in their 20s and late 20s, early 30s, where like they're seeing each other, but they're not really dating, Just
fucking friends with benefits, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. That's part of it. I do think also like and it's funny because I actually said this to my girlfriend afterwards when we were getting ready for bed. I'm like, I kind of feel like we're Clark and Lois. And she looked at me. She's like, huh? And I'm like, well, I am usually the one that's like trusting and I like meeting people and I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. And I usually trust people till they give me a reason not to. And you're the like question everyone's motives, question everything kind of person. And she's like, yeah, you're right. So in that sense, like it really hit home. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like this is me and my girlfriend. Like, so it made it more personal for me, watching it, like,
okay.
Yeah, I thought she did an amazing job. It did raise questions in my head, though, with some aspects of their relationship. One, obviously, like they've been dating for a while, but while they're at the Daily Planet, they're acting like they're not dating.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. And then it raises a question with me, and that's one of the things I have in my notes is how much does Jimmy know? Jimmy Olsen, because
Oh
like
yeah, no, that's
because you get the feeling like he doesn't know anything,
yeah.
and then at the end when Superman and Lois go run off into an empty building to have their moment together at the end of the movie, they all notice them go in there, which that is one of my things that I have an issue with. We'll get to that. Perry goes, how long has this been going on? And Jimmy goes like, about 3 months. So wait a minute. So like he knows that they were in a relationship. So does he know Superman's Clark and Clark is Superman? Like that was so confusing at the end when he like answered. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Then how much does he actually know? Or was he just saying something to seem confident?
He just knows Lois is banging Superman. But because of his glasses, Superman doesn't look like Clark Kent. And when I say that, no, they explain in this movie that those glasses.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, they explain in this movie that his glasses like change his face for everybody else. So that's why the glasses are the integral part of his disguise, because it literally makes him look different. Now we'll never know what he looks like to everybody else as the audience, because it doesn't work on us. But it works on everybody. It's not a bad comic book thingy. Kassan says Rachel, I'm not even going to say that last name, the girl that played Lois looked like a young Courtney Cox. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So here's the thing. That's one of the first times, like, and people have said that before, but it's one of the first times I can remember where they actually explained it as hypno glasses. Normally the idea how they explain it in the comics is he slouches, he acts so mousy as Clark Kent, put the glasses on, wears his hair more in his front of his face, that like he's a different person. Like you can't believe that this person would put on a cape and be Superman because he's just this mousy little guy. Like, so it's an unbelievability thing, right? Not it's hypno glasses. So I don't know how I feel about the concept of hypno glasses. Like, and
I like it because in today's world where everybody's got cameras and videos, like it would make sense that it has to be a little bit more than just he slouches and doesn't act like someone who could possibly do a Superman.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's a way to actually like explain how it works. But he's going to be in a situation where his glasses fall off. That happens. Kassan says, I wish they didn't explain it that way. Hypno glasses would work if people see the glasses. What about people viewing Clark from behind?
Well, then they'd be looking at his butt or the back of his head.
Yeah, maybe he's got a hypno butt.
Hypno butt, right?
Superman's hypno butt. Yeah.
He's got all sorts of goofy powers, man.
So which does bring me to one of my other like slight issues with the movie. Is I thought when we saw the clip of them her interviewing him, like, oh, he is kind of like, when she says Superman, his voice gets a little deeper and he straightens up. I don't feel there was enough of a difference between Clark and Superman in the movie, right?
Oh yeah, no, not at all. I mean, Clark Kent in this movie is just Superman, like you said, with his hair done a different way. He's got the glasses on. He's still this 6'4" monster. It would be very recognizable. So again, that's why I like. It may be corny, but I like the hypno glass. You gotta have some sort of comic,
right? But I mean, like, because that's the thing Christopher Reeve was the master of. He acting like a dorky, nerdy little guy as Clark Kent, and then being this overly confident hero as Superman. And like, I was really hoping they were going to capture that in this, and they did it. Like, there's touches of it, but I feel like it could have been done so much better, right? Like that would have really put it way over the top for me, I'm not taking anything away from this performance or anything, but I don't feel like James Gunn was as concerned about that as he should have been, because I think if he was, he would have worked out, like when they're in that scene in the Daily Planet, made him come off more nerdy, when they're having that conversation about his terribly written article.
Right.
So
I don't know. I think he said, "Hypno glasses. We're done here. Act like the best Superman you can be."
all right.
It's a ridiculous aspect of the character anyway. So I mean, really, why put too much effort into accomplishing something that you're probably not going to anyway? So I think I'm all right with it. That's just me personally. I was okay with it. I thought there was enough of a change. I mean, I could kind of see the meekness, but this is more of a Superman than Clark Kent movie.
So let me ask you this. When Superman is fighting Ultraman and the Engineer, they crash down to Earth, and the Engineer gets knocked out, and Ultraman finally takes off his mask. Were you shocked that it was just a clone of Superman, or were you expecting to see Henry Cavill's face under there like everyone said it was going to be?
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a Bizarro type situation. So let me take this moment to ask you, because I really wish JD was here. But so is Ultraman? Is that what he is in DC Comics?
No, Ultraman in DC Comics comes from a parallel universe where everyone from the Justice League is evil. So Superman is Ultraman in that universe. So it's an evil version of Superman. Okay. In the comics, Bizarro is a clone of Superman. That is that Lex Luthor makes. So that him cloning Superman is canon. Him being Ultraman isn't. It's him being Bizarro. That being said, again, big spoiler, when he defeats Ultraman and Ultraman gets sucked into the black hole, I feel like we just witnessed the birth of Bizarro. I think he's going to come out of that black hole as Bizarro. Like everything gets sucked in there. He gets sucked into a parallel universe where he lives as Bizarro, and then he'll figure out how to jump universes, and we'll see him again as Bizarro.
All right, yeah, that's kind of a markdown for me. Why did we need to do that? We didn't. He should have just be Bizarro. He's already explained he doesn't have his intelligence. That's why he's got to give him the E7, 84. There's all those commands.
Kassan says, I did not want a clone in this movie at all. So Lex wants to destroy Superman, but decides to make a clone. Does not like metahumans, or does he?
Yeah, that's a solid point for me. And it also, if it wasn't for Lex Luthor, I'd say this is like, they're doing the Marvel thing where the villain's the carbon copy of the hero. But Lex Luthor is the real villain. He just uses a carbon copy of the hero.
I feel like if I was to dissect Lex Luthor, this Lex Luthor, he doesn't like metahumans he can't control, right? Because he essentially created the Engineer, who's a metahuman. Like, he did it through technology, but she now has superpowers and could easily use her powers to take over his corporation, but she doesn't, because he knows how to manipulate her and control her. He makes a clone of Superman, but makes it dumber so he can control it. Like, that's why he doesn't like Superman. He's the most powerful of the metahumans, and he can't control him because he doesn't have him under his thumb in any way. I really think that's what it is. It's about power with Lex, and if he's not in control, then he's got to get rid of him, because I guess eventually he wants to take over the world.
Yeah.
Lex doesn't have any issues with the Justice Gang. I don't know. They didn't really get into that.
But I think Lex's obsession with Superman over anybody else is that he is an alien.
Yes, he's not even human.
No one in the Justice Gang is alien. They're all from Earth. Now,
right.
Green Lantern, yes, and that shit's from space, but he himself, is just some a-hole from Earth.
Which
so, yeah, go ahead.
Which ends up becoming the punctuation at the end of the movie. Wait a minute, you're right. You're 100% right, Don, because that's the whole thing. The speech that Superman gives to Lex at the end of the movie, it's like, you don't think I'm human? I'm more human than any of you, or I'm just as human. Like, I doubt myself. I get hurt. I deal with struggles. Like, I know what it is to be human. Like, your problem with me is that I'm an alien, but I'm not. And I'm just as human as you are. So, yeah, like, that is the punctuation to this movie. Like, he's just as human. So yeah, I think that's the best way to look at it. Yeah. All right. And then let's because we're running a little long. We'll get to a couple more things. Crypto. Like, I mean, I've already compared this to Lois and Clark, to me and Karen, and now I'm going to say Crypto is her dog in a lot of ways. He's intrusive. People have woken up with him laying on their chest, and him just looking down at you, wagging his tail. He will just jump on you and knock you over. He's also a little nuts because he's ultra protective of Karen and her mother and the people in that house. So yeah, he's an extremely territorial dog, which I don't feel like Crypto was as territorial. He was more just like, I want to play and make a mess kind of a dog. And if you give a dog like that superpowers, you're in trouble. That's why. But yeah, I loved Crypto in this movie. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I think Crypto was definitely a highlight, and you definitely rooted for him. Yeah, I mean, it's listen, it is what it is. It's a dog. It's got superhero powers. The kids are gonna love it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm white, so dog. Okay, we're gonna root for the dog.
Yes, this is the super powered John Wick. I mean,
Right.
that's why it's like more towards the middle end of the movie when the dog gets captured and he's like, where's the dog? Because if John Wick had superpowers, that movie would have been over in 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then of course the fun little twist is that and I think this is the first time this has happened, Crypto isn't actually Superman's dog. It's his cousin's dog, Kara, aka Supergirl, who shows up at the end of the movie. So what do you think? I thought some people had an issue with her being like a party girl. What did you think of Supergirl?
Yeah, I mean, I've got mixed feelings because I knew going into this that was her dog. Because I think it is that way in the comics or one of the comic runs. And with me taking my two daughters to see it, I was like, okay, they're really, hopefully they get to see Supergirl and get intrigued by that and want to, see that. But then, yeah, when she came in and I go to a place with a red sun so I can get drunk and he's a later bitch. Like, I mean, the kids laughed at it, but I don't know. I guess I didn't appreciate it so much, but it's okay. It's fine.
Well, that also means that because one of the next big movies coming out is Supergirl.
Yeah.
Crypto is going to be in that movie as well, right? Like, you can't
Could
have Crypto in the movie. Everyone loves him, and then he goes home with his owner, who's Supergirl, and not have him in the movie. So, real quick,
Smart move.
Kassan says, "Wait, isn't Hawkgirl also an alien?" No. Hawkgirl and Hawkman are a cursed relationship of two people that keep getting reincarnated over and over again from ancient Egypt, but they were given their powers when a meteorite made of Uru, I think it is, metal. That is the mythical metal in the DC universe, or no, It's not Uru. Uru is what.
Yeah, that sounds like Stormbreaker.
Yeah, that's what
material.
Stormbreaker's made of. Oh God, I can't think of the name of the metal. But it's what the mace is made out of, and the harness and everything is made out of this material. But yeah, like they're in a relationship, but they're cursed to not be together, but they keep getting reincarnated. That's the story of Hawkman and Hawkgirl. So they're not aliens. They get their, again, like Green Lantern, they get their powers from an alien source, but yeah, they're not actually aliens. They're more mythical. So, so Kasan says, if the nanobites in the engineer made of kryptonite, or are they made of kryptonite? How are her blades even supposed to harm him? I don't know. He just knocked the blade out of the way and then he shot it at her. So when she shot it at him, so like, yeah, there's no way the blades would have hurt him. Like, I don't. That was just a thing. It's like when they did get him unconscious, they were able to like get the nanobites inside of him when he was down for a second, which that wasn't that was a kind of a questionable scene, but you know,
why was that questionable?
Because like he wasn't really knocked out. He was just kind of like drowsy for a second, and the nanobots weren't moving that fast. And you know, I think Superman could have gotten away from it, but you know, what are you going to do?
You're going to go up into space.
Yeah.
You're going to pile drive these motherfuckers. They're fucking around. They're going to find out.
Yes.
I'm Superman.
That was an awesome scene. So let's get to...
We're going to run over a little bit, man, because there's kind of a lot I still want to talk about.
Okay. Well, let's get to Kasan's point that he brought up earlier. Jor-El being evil, right?
Yes, this is okay. Good. Yes, this is definitely something I need to touch base on.
So, have they done this before? Yes and no. I mean, people need to remember that retcon is second nature in DC Comics. They have rebooted. They've had so many crises. It's why when you look at Superman from the 40s to Superman today, they're two almost completely different characters, other than the same name and slightly same origin. But like they've changed so much over the decades. That being said, yeah, there have been stories where they kind of hinted at maybe maybe Superman was sent here as a conqueror. They touched on it in Smallville. But the thing I'd like to say is they left enough wiggle room, I think, that can just be retconned, because you're taking a linguist's word for it that this is what they said when they don't know what the base language is. The robots didn't tell them what the translation of the first part of the message were, so they have nothing to base the translation on, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, someone just looked at it and said, this is what they're saying. You can sit there and say, no, it's mistranslated. You know, I think they gave them enough wiggle room to get out of it. They can even say that somehow Lex doctored it and made it look like it wasn't doctored, because that was the whole thing. It's like, oh, these experts looked at it and it's authentic. It's an alien recording. It's not using a JPEG file or an MPEG file. Like, it's an alien recording. How do they know it's authentic? So there's definitely enough wiggle room to get out of that. So yeah,
I mean, you have to have suspension of disbelief for this sort of thing, but I will say that something that just is too far of a stretch for me is that Lex Luthor was able to interface with Kryptonian technology.
Yeah.
Something they've done before. They did it Independence Day, you know.
Yeah, they used a Mac laptop to hack an alien spaceship.
So that's a little bit too far of a stretch for me. But in the end, though, I can't hate on it too much because it is a comic book movie. And if the motherfucker's creating pocket dimensions, I guess I do have to believe that he can interface with alien technology. But yeah, I don't know.
I also think
makes sense here.
I also feel like what you do see of the message in the beginning is a totally different tone to all of a sudden go as a conqueror and
well, yes, that women. Too.
It's so unbalanced. Yeah.
It is. No, the two halves of that message don't jive at all. And I really thought they were going to come back and say, "Oh no, he really did alter it." But the fact that they are really going with, I still don't understand it. It is a kind of a sticking point to me. How do you go from serve them to, hey, get a bunch of girls, get a harem together and fucking breed and and Beltramite it up? Like, I'm that's something I'm going to kind of struggle with. I I guess I get it as far as driving home the fact that, he really does switch from something I like about the Superman is that he really does switch to, okay, fuck it. Mom, pa can't they're my parents, play the video of his parents that calms him. And then it's mom, pa can't videos instead of, Laura L and Jor-El. That was pretty cool. I like that. I was like, okay, that's like fully transitioning him over to where he's not focused on, the Kryptonians and I want to know more and my father. He's like, okay, fuck that. Mom, pa can't it.
There's an animated series that was on HBO Max, The Adventures of Superman or something like that. I don't remember the full title of it. We did watch the first season on the show, and
yes, and one of my complaints is that they completely fucking erased Pa Kent.
And that's, but part of that whole thing is that there's a whole multiverse storyline in that where they explore the idea that Superman is a conqueror in all these other universes, and what makes this Superman difference. My Adventures with Superman. Thank you, Kasan. So again, the idea has been explored already many times by DC. So it wasn't a new idea, and I don't think it's going to stick, because I think that is going to be the one genuine complaint people have about this movie is like there was no need to make Jor-El evil just so that Superman will embrace his humanity more. But yeah, like it's not going to stick. But yeah, it's not a new concept either, So that's why it wasn't a big shock to me. I was like, oh, they're going that Jor-El route, which is weird. I mean,
yeah.
Bradley Cooper was hired for a day to talk in a fake language.
Yeah.
So he got paid, but no, I think Hassan's right. It's not going to stick. They'll retcon it somehow in the next movie, or
they have to, because it does not make the whole be this serve these people to conquer them. Yeah.
It also doesn't work because the whole point of Supergirl is she was sent to protect Superman, to make sure because she's a little older, and she gets sent to make sure that he makes it to Earth okay, so that she gets launched right after him. And okay, well, maybe Superman wasn't a conqueror, then why isn't his cousin a conqueror? That's why this story doesn't work. That they're gonna have to retcon. Kasan says, I swear to God, if they introduce a multiverse in the DCU, I know what comic book movie has died. You know what, Kasan? They already did. Did you not pick up? This is a multiverse movie, already. Let's start with Peacemaker. And let's start with Rick Flag was still alive. We watched him get killed in the Suicide Squad. Now all of a sudden he's back. Same actor. Right? Wasn't that the same actor?
No, maybe I can't.
Oh, you know what? Maybe not.
I thought the guy that played him now was the dude that played Crossbones.
You're right. It is the guy who played Crossbones. Never mind. I
just don't know his fucking name, but I recognize him.
Yeah. You're right. But he was in thing. But forget what I just said. I'm an idiot. But if you watch the trailer for Peacemaker,
it's Peacemaker that's doing the multiverse shit,
right? So
which belongs in a dead universe. Yeah, that whole thing, that's still.
So no, what's happening is that that Peacemaker is going to end up in our universe because he's going to do the multiverse thing, So we're starting off with a multiverse. Like it's, like unfortunately, that's the route James Gunn decided to go instead of just a clean slate reboot. So yeah, I don't see how you get around it. I don't think Kassan says great art is dead. I don't think they're going to lean heavily into it like Marvel currently is doing. I think it's just going to be a quick thing, and maybe they'll use it because again, I think they'll do the idea of a Bizarro universe later on to bring Bizarro in, but I don't think it's going to be like as confusing as the MCU currently is. And that actually brings me to like another point I wanted to bring up because you're like, so you're not a DC guy, right? But
Not really.
But you know who Hawkgirl and Green Lantern are. Did you have any exposure to Mr. Terrific before?
None. Zero.
Okay, he was in Arrow, the Arrow TV show.
Didn't watch it.
Okay, so I love the character. The guy who played
How
Darwin.
comic accurate is he though? That's what I want. I would be interested to learn.
That's him. Yeah, it's like highly intelligent. Eddie Gathegi played him, who was Darwin in First Class, which was another thing I saw. Like, Kassan says Mr. Terrific was one of the highlights of the movie. We need more Mr. Terrific. I'll get to that in a second. But like, that's one of the things I wanted to say is that you're not a DC guy, but even like a normie, like my girlfriend, she had no idea who those characters were. They don't introduce them at all. Like they tell you in the beginning, like metahumans have been around for a long time, but there's no origin, which I appreciate as a comic book fan. Just walk me into this story. I don't need to see the ship crash land. I know who Superman is. I know who Guy Gardner is. I know who Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl are. I know Lex. I know Tessmacher and Otis. Ultraman and the Engineer. Like boom and Metamorpho, is that his name? Like I know these characters, so like this all works for me. But my girlfriend turned to me like, "Who is that? What's going on?" I'm like, "They're just other DC characters. I'll explain later." But like, is that a detriment to just throw these characters in and not explain who they are at all?
I don't think it was.
Okay.
I don't really think that was. I don't think it's the point of the movie. I mean, other than Metamorpho, he was kind of used there because he can turn part of himself into kryptonite, and that's how Lex was able to keep Superman captured. So I didn't seem to hurt anybody I watched the movie with.
Okay.
I thought the Hawkgirl screaming was a little annoying.
She's a hawk. She, part hawk, I guess, or at least she, has the powers of a hawk, and
sure,
that's one of the things hawks do is they scream.
They scream. But no, I don't think. I think they did a pretty good job of laying the groundwork of each one of those characters a little bit. So, like, Hawkgirl, she's got the president of Bavaria or whatever his name. And he's like, "Oh, you're not going to kill me like Superman." And she's like, "Haha, nope." And so like, "Oh, okay, Hawkgirl's pretty hardcore. All right." And then, with Guy Gardner, oh, he's just an arrogant asshole jerk. But hey, he is coming through in the end. So
yeah, he has also confirmed he is in Lanterns, and he said in the show, he's the Green Lantern you don't want to call.
Right. Mr. Terrific, like I said, know nothing about him, but I thought it was kind of cool how like and I don't know how comic accurate this is, but like he cannot stop himself from like correcting people about stuff. Like they're not circles, they're T-spheres. They're 3-dimensional. Circles are, like no one. no one needs that explanation. But still, every time he had to explain, like, no, that's not what that means. So I thought that was funny.
I mean, this is not meant as an insult in any way, but he's like the way he played him, and I feel this way a little bit in the comics. He's an autistic, highly intelligent autistic person where it's just like, no, there's fears, but it's also like why he's not a very emotional person, like
Yeah.
he did such a great job of portraying that. Like he's this highly intelligent, which makes the after credit scene so good, where they're standing there and they're looking at the building and there's still a crack in it, and Superman's like,
it's uneven.
It's uneven. He's like, what do you want me to do? Take the whole thing apart and put it back together again? And he's like, well, no. And then he's like walking away and he like kicks his foot, like oh shucks, Superman is upset. Superman is criticizing me, which it works on so many levels. It's him showing emotions after not showing emotions, and it's like he's upset because it's Superman criticizing him. Like it just works on so many levels. It's such a great little scene at the end. But yeah, like, and I get it. Kassan says I don't need backstories. I got who the characters were, and that's true. But there are people who are just like, well, who's this hero? Who's that hero? And
yeah,
unfortunately, my girlfriend's one of them.
There is, wife, but she's kind of mad at me. So she didn't talk to me much.
Well, like I got a little too real there, Don. I forgot there is also speculation that there will be 2 spin-off TV shows from this movie. The first one being Mr. Terrific getting his own TV show. The other being a Jimmy Olsen TV show. So we'll
I don't
see.
need that.
Well, Jimmy Olsen did have his own comic book. So
okay.
But Superman and Lois were in it a lot. So I don't know how you like. It was kind of a sneaky way to have another Superman title. I think you kind of have to have them in there once in a while to make the show work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would watch a Mr. Terrific show.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, I mean it's another take on an Iron Man type character, really.
Yeah.
When you think about it. Blink twice if you need. Oh wait.
Good. Good. I'll make it through.
You'll make it through. Okay, good. So yeah. All right, and then what else?
I've got one other aspect that I want,
okay.
One other aspect that I would like to touch upon.
All right.
So I did not realize this. It was going to be to this extent. So I live, as I've explained before, about 40 minutes west of Cleveland. In fact, before the pandemic, I had to drive to Cleveland and back every day for my job. So I knew that the fight scene in the baseball stadium, I already knew that's Progressive Field in Cleveland.
Okay.
Been there. It's where the Cleveland Guardians play. And I knew that. But I did not realize to which extent they were shooting in Cleveland. All those cities, they're fighting up in the air. The rift is coming toward Metropolis. Like Cleveland is Metropolis.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So get real meta here. Hats off to James Gunn here. I think he meant for this, but obviously, well, not obviously, but Cleveland is the birthplace of Superman.
Right. Cleveland
is essentially Metropolis in this movie. That's fucking cool. That is way cool.
Yeah.
And I know that's only something like I can enjoy, I guess, in this setting because I'm the only Cleveland boy. But I really did enjoy that touch. That I recognized, the bridges and the buildings and the bodies of water. The Cuyahoga, which caught on fire once, much better nowadays. Cleveland's actually recovered quite well environmentally. But that was just so I just wanted to mention that. Chef's kiss on that. And I enjoyed that quite a lot as being someone familiar with the city of Cleveland, Ohio. So that's
okay. I liked one of the things I loved about this movie were the touches to the Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner Superman. We've got the what you call it, the theme being used, dun, 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 right? Played on different instruments than John Williams, but still there was the theme being used throughout the whole movie, especially when he was fighting and doing well, or like when he showed up to save the day, like the music played, and then the end credits were a throwback to the original 1978 Superman movie with the outline red words and everything, and I'm like, yeah, he gets it. Like, that is, you're trying to reach a target audience, and it's not just new kids. It's also the people who grew up with Superman and love the character. And to do that, to do those little touches, and it without overdoing it either. It's not like he retold it. Oh, and of course, Otis and Tessmacher being in the movie as well. Tessmacher being the girlfriend, and Otis, and Otis being the right hand man. Like because those were characters invented for that movie. Like that, it was brilliant. Like, you didn't overdo it. You did it just enough.
I agree.
Where fans of those films are like, oh wow, I feel included in this. So yeah, and then again, the big FU to the Snyderverse. I don't think it was intentional, but it's there.
I think it was pretty intentional. I mean, even when Guy Gardner, the Justice Gang, is destroying that army, and he's using the ring, and all these middle fingers come up. I don't know. I felt like that.
Yeah. Wait, Don, you didn't bump into Gunn or David Cornswet? Do you consider yourself a true Cleveland?
I guess I can't, because, like I said, since the pandemic, I no longer have to drive there every day. So yeah, I don't go there often.
I thought Cleveland rocks.
It does rock. I like the city a lot. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep. But yeah, like, just, I'm trying to think, is there any like major aspect we're not thinking about yet? I think we did it. I don't know. Like, we could kiss this movie's butt all night long. But I think it's time for us to give final thoughts and our score, 1 out of 10 capes. And of course, Don, you can go first.
Well, I was skeptical going into this movie, but when I saw JD Oliva's review, because he apparently saw it Thursday and I didn't get to see it till Saturday, I knew it was going to be special because of his Superman fandom and what the character means to him. So I was like, okay, all right. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I was happy to be there with my children and for them to see this role model of a superhero. It was emotional for me on multiple levels. I mean, it was just absolutely wonderful. It was not without flaws. Like, like my wife is the one that kind of pointed out to me, I didn't mention this. I told her I would, so I better do that. That, she was the one who was like, but that message, that makes, no sense. That it would go from help people to go get your harem and become a conqueror. I was like, yeah, that really doesn't make sense. I thought they would clear that up. So, but man, just fun, uplifting. Like I said, it's going to be a new comfort movie for me once I'm able to stream it on regular. And I actually kind of want to see it again. I'm normally not that guy in this day and age with them hitting streaming within 45 days. But I think I want to go see it again. I want to go feel good again, man. I want to go feel good.
I actually know a couple of people who have already seen it twice in the theater. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I might not do it just because we got another movie to see in a couple weeks.
Listen, I said we wanted to watch Rogue One together. We still haven't fucking do that. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
we should
whole
do that.
stomach bigger than your eyes bigger than your stomach sort of thing. But life is freaking hectic.
And okay, so go ahead. What's your score then?
Oh, my score is a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10.
All right. Okay, so my final thoughts. I'm going to say again that this is FU Man of Steel. Superman is back. That is my way to sum this up. There is there are a lot of people online who said that in today's world you can't do the hopeful Boy Scout Superman. It just won't work in today's world. James Gunn just proved all of those people wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, prove that you're all just cynical pricks.
Thank you. And it's funny because there are the people that are fans of the Zack Snyder Superman, the dour God complex Superman, and yeah, and that's the other thing. If you don't make him the most unstoppable force, you can get a good story out of the guy. So he proved everyone wrong, and I'm so glad that he did. The DCU is off to an amazing start. Can they keep this up? We'll see. I think we'll see shortly with Lanterns, and then we'll see with Supergirl, and whatever else is coming out next. I'm not sure. And Peacemaker season 2. So we'll see. Can they keep this momentum going? And yeah, I think they will. But again, we shall see. I don't think James Gunn can head every project. That's the problem. So
I don't want him to.
I don't want him to either.
I mean, bravo, James Gunn, because I was actually looking like, okay, how James Gunned up is this going to be? There was 2 James Gunn scenes where, like, oh, they're doing the, they got the serious battle going on and some goofy type music going, particularly when Mr. Terrific and Lois, at that scene at the first portal or whatever they found.
Yeah.
He was playing the, little bright, silly music while all that's going down. But it wasn't too bad. So I don't want to see that in every movie. So I'm happy to hear that, James Gunn's not going to be part. I mean, he did a great job, so I am officially a fan. I was never, but I am now.
I was waiting for Lois to, like, after the battle was over, go, wow, you really are Mr. Terrific. But that was a missed opportunity in my opinion. And yeah, and you know what? I'm rooting for David Cornsweet. I mean, he's the local Philly boy and all of that, but he did such a great job. I want to see more Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor. I want to see more out of this universe. And I think that's the highest praise. I didn't watch this going, it was okay. I watched this going, I want more. And
yeah, I want more. And I'm rooting for Superman during this movie.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So with that being said, yeah, I agree. This is a 9 out of 10 movie. Like, it's everything true comic book fans wanted out of a Superman movie. You got Superman fighting a kaiju. You got Superman fighting a clone. You got Superman, confronting Lex Luthor with an intellectual conversation. What more do you want from a Superman movie? Like, it's darn near perfect.
He relates to you.
Yes.
I relate to this Superman. He's like, come on. Yeah, he's human. I certainly relate to him.
Yeah. Final comment here from Emma Ray Guns. Cornsweet was absolutely perfect as Superman. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more Clark Kent. Okay. Yeah. I think, I don't know if you caught that earlier. My one little complaint was there wasn't enough of separation of the two. But they made it work. Why didn't Lex just open the door? They put him in the truck unrestrained. Why didn't he just open the door and run? Well, he wouldn't have got far.
Well, he wouldn't have got far. And, like, this isn't the end of Lex Luthor. Like,
Yeah.
I swear at some point he's going to be running for president here in one of these movies. So like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, he's in bed with the United States government. Big
Exactly.
time.
Yeah. And worse people have run for president. All
like
right.
He represents the money and corruption that is ruining this world. This movie's got just a lot of great metaphor. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. We're trying.
Yeah. No.
Hour 40.
All right. Let's ask that all important question.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
We're people of growth. We must learn from our mistakes. What did you learn tonight, Don? Or do you have recommendations, or both?
I learned that to go along with the hypno glasses when people look at his front, that Superman very well may need hypno butt for those that are looking from behind.
Okay.
I have no recommendations. I haven't watched the damn thing. I'm playing Magic. That's about it.
I learned that you can do the hopeful blue Boy Scout and people are going to love the movie. I think that's the most important lesson. And I can't wait for more DCU. The DCEU is officially dead. So if you're watching this and you're a Snyder bot and you're still trying to tear this movie down and say, bring back the Snyder, it's done. It's done. This movie's going to make $1 billion. No one's going to ever listen to you again. So get over it.
Yep.
That's my recommendation. My recommendation is if you're someone who's still fighting for Zack Snyder to come back and finish his movies, just get over it. And on that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape get caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting for? Visit our merch store.